Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. And what you're looking at is one of these 1 amp hour, 1.5 amp hour Ryobi 1 Plus lithium ion batteries. This is part of the deal I got at the garage sale at Stormville. I got 4 batteries, 4 chargers, and that drill for $40. Unfortunately, one battery appears to be dead. When you plug it in, right, you get the big flashing red light there. It won't do anything. Let me show you the voltage and everything else on it. If one does a quick voltage test of the battery, like you got less than a volt here, right? So obviously when you plug it in, this charger is not even going to attempt to charge this, because if it's shorted or something, we all know lithium ion batteries could do bad things. So if you go through the internet, what it tells you to basically do with the lithium ion battery is run a jumper from here to another same voltage lithium ion battery, and that will kind of bump this up. You'll get the voltage up to close to 18 volts, at which time the charger will take over. And I'm just going to show you me trying to do that, and let me give you a hint, it doesn't work. So after jumping this battery to this battery, positive to positive, negative to negative, we can still see we got nothing going on here. So my next thing is I took the battery apart. A few things to note about taking the battery apart. They use these kind of bolts, nuts, screws to hold it together. And to take these apart, you need to use, what was it, a T15, but it's a special T15 with the hole punched in it, because they have a raised area in the center. So you might say, oh, okay. By the way, this comes from Harbor Freight. It's known as their security bit kit. So, you know, I took the 4 I saw out and it wouldn't come apart. It turns out they had an extra one hidden underneath this cap, so you gotta kind of pry this cap off. I used a knife to do it and take it out of there. Once you do that, you could take this piece, lifts off, and the battery stays behind in here. It's going to take 2 hands to do that, so I'm going to do it and then I'll show it to you. So we got the cover off, and I recommend leaving the battery in the bottom because there's really nothing you need to do there. And you could see the problem as you go to jump start it from here to here, or even using that, unless you get the voltage high enough, this circuitry is not going to come alive. It appears as if the battery powers this circuitry, not the charger. And without this circuitry alive, you can't get power from the charger to the batteries. Now, the good thing about having all this circuitry here is hopefully it's smart enough not to overcharge your batteries, to protect them from burning up and all that other good stuff. But the bad thing is if you run the batteries down completely to stone cold dead and you let them sit around a little bit so they continue to go flat, once again, you will not have the power to power up the circuitry, which means you can't get a charge into it. Now, you know what? Taking batteries apart and jumping them and doing all the stuff I'm going to do, quite honestly, is a tad dangerous. We've seen pictures of lithium-ion batteries, you know, blowing up, catching fire, and all that wonderful stuff. So before you go on, I want you to realize you're doing this on your dime, your risk. You're taking your chances. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump directly from the lithium-ion batteries, the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative, to see if I can't get a charge, enough of a charge into these batteries to get the overall back up, get this circuit active, and get it so that I can plug it in and give it a charge. I might be successful, I might not, or once again, this whole thing might just go poof in my face. So So I have the whole thing set up, and I have this on the 10 amp, and one could see it's not the greatest meter in the world. It's not completely zeroed, but when I go to put that power in here, check out how much current it draws. I mean, that's a lot of power. Gradually it should start counting down as the batteries take a charge. Now, I did look over all this circuitry and I didn't see anything burned up. I didn't see anything charbroiled. I didn't get the idea that anything was going to go, or anything ripped. I didn't see any cracks in the circuit board or anything like that. So I'm just kind of giving it a little bit of a, boost, and then stopping. And I'm deliberately doing it that way, because if it's getting ready to rip, I'm hoping that it does it. It kind of warns me that it's coming, right? Rather than just go, huge pop. As the you could see the current that it's taking to charge is becoming less, right? That means things are equalizing a little bit. When it works its way down to 1 amp, I think I'm going to put the battery back together and see if we can't put it on the charger and see what it'll do. Just for a laugh though. I'm not feeling anything get crazy hot. I mean, it's hard for me to touch some of the batteries, but and by the way I'm doing this is bad, right? You see that unshielded hot clip that's kind of floating around? That could obviously get into some trouble. You guys could see it's taking less than half the current it was initially. If I start, as I'm doing this, if I see it start climbing crazy, like 10 amps, 5 amps working its way up to 10 amps, I'm gonna stop immediately, because that means I got a short and something's getting ready to rip. Yeah, you guys could see I'm down to 1 1/4. So I'm gonna keep this up. No use showing you, and we'll then see if it'll take a charge. So after that jump start, see the red light's not flashing anymore and the green one is, and that indicates it's charging. I'm going to let it charge for a while, like 30 minutes according to this, and we'll see if I can't run a drill on it again. And if I did, I saved, I don't know, it's a small battery, what's it worth, 25, 30 bucks. So I'd be real happy with that. Okay, it's been about a half hour. Let's see how we made out. The battery is toasty, nice and toasty warm. And let's see if it came back to life. Look at that. This doesn't say anything about how well lived it's going to be, if it's going to last a real long time, or if it's now walking wounded, but it did take a charge and I'm happy about that. Anyway, I hope this helps and saves somebody some money. So basically I brought a stone cold dead battery back to life. All good stuff. Do remember, once again, your precautions. If you mess around with lithium-ion batteries, particularly like if you leave them charging in your garage, jumped one cell to the next or any of that kind of stuff, if they do decide to light up on you and you're not there and they set paper and cardboard and other stuff ablaze, you can lose your garage, your home, your basement, or wherever else they go up in blazing. So you know, use proper safety precautions, and do remember sometimes they pop, and you know, eye protection and junk like that is not a bad idea. Remember, safety third, as you Dizzy says. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember, feet down, heads up, and get out and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.